Seeming that you all are loving this series, I may as well keep on doing them. It was about equally tied with baseball and soccer from the previous video, but I know more about baseball, so that's what we are going to be doing today. And the soccer one will be next. Anyways, let's get started. First and foremost, we always begin our videos with choosing a coach. We need someone practically built like the Blob from the X-Men. Usually baseball coaches all have the same starter kit when it comes to their physique. We also need our coach to be well with their players, since baseball players have a tendency to lose themselves to anger. If we're thinking about keeping people in check, the best possible answer would have to be Lefty. However, you could choose the puppet for this case, since they are practically the same person. But then again, we are looking for someone who's a bit rotund, and Lefty fits that position very well. Throughout the games, Lefty is portrayed as either first in command or second in command by Golden Freddy. But I think Golden Freddy is more of an aggressive coach, so thinking back, maybe he would have been a good coach for the football team. While the puppet is more relaxed and calm, that's something we really need for a coach, since the baseball players are very short-tempered. And someone who's level-headed with their schemes and plans would balance out that anger very well. Now, we all know that the puppet won't be some pushover either. She can definitely become serious when the time calls for it. Putting her here would be a great decision for this team. Okay, so this will decide how the entire field plays. The pitcher is very necessary to be a good player. The center of the entire operation to be able to get the batting side back onto the field. We need someone with an amazing arm who can also be super accurate. Someone who can lead the team. Now, you may all think that I'm gonna say Funtime Freddy again, but nope, you're wrong. Since Funtime Freddy has Bon Bon literally attached to his arm, he would be unable to catch the ball when someone is trying to throw it to him. Although he would be the ideal pick for this position since he is the only one that has feats of throwing. I also thought of maybe Monty, since he does have stronger arms as we can see in Security Breach since he has the ability to break down steel fences. Now, we didn't choose Monty because I believe there is another answer that is better. Glamrock Freddy is our pitcher for this amazing baseball team. We chose him because in addition to having Monty's claws that we took away from him in Security Breach, we also have Chica's eyes. You would think that the eyes would not matter, but in the grand scheme of things, it does. Chica would have an amazing depth perception, which would make it easier for Glamrock Freddy to be able to throw strikes. On top of being a leader, since he helps Gregory navigate through the Pizzaplex, he is also very fast. So he would be able to recover ground balls very easily if they were ever to be hit his way. He is easily the best pick for the pitcher position, and I'm so glad my smart little brain thought of this. Next up on our list, we have our catcher. This is what I used to play when I was very young. This position is normally someone who's a bit bigger than everyone else on the field, typically being the only person on the field who comes into physical contact with other people. And that's not very likely. However, on the off chance that it does happen, we need someone who is very sturdy, who can launch the ball like their life depends on it. The catcher is a position that is needed to be very smart. The catcher gives hand signals to the pitcher to show them what kind of pitch that they should be throwing based off of the batter. So let's ponder on who's someone who is decently big, but also is very smart and can get whatever task that is thrown to them done. I really want to add Wither Bonnie, guys, I really do. But then again, how is he going to throw the ball? He needs a hand to catch the ball and to throw it, so sadly, we can't add him. So for literally no particular reason at all, we're going to be choosing Toy Freddy. I mean guys, he has leverage, look at him. He can use his leverage to stand his ground if anyone were to run into him while trying to hit home base. Plus he is very stubby with pretty strong arms. I think he would guard the home base like it was the last birthday cake in the world. He's probably not the best pick for this position, but he's honestly the only one I could really think of for this time, so let me know down in the comments who you would have put for our catcher position. The first baseman is a position you need to be really good at fielding balls. Since most batters hit towards the third base, since they are all mostly right-handed, the first baseman typically gets balls that are rolling on the ground. So we need someone with good hand-eye coordination. I think someone who would be really good at this position would be Chica. I think this because in Help Wanted, we see that her cupcake has a tendency to run away from her plate commonly. Since this is a regular thing that happens, there is a solid chance that Chica has developed a skill in order to get him back quickly and efficiently. Since the cupcake hops around on the ground, Chica would have to bend over and pick him up. Or maybe in some cases, scoop him up. You see where I'm going with this? Which is exactly what the first baseman does on the field. Her only downside that I can think of is that she's not really the athletic type, But hey, neither was Pablo Sandoval, and look at him, he's an amazing player. Don't count Chica out just because she's a little rotund like Toy Freddy. We don't discriminate here. She would be an amazing pick for the first baseman position. The second baseman is a well-rounded position, typically a little bit of a mix between the first baseman and the third baseman. There's a lot of times the second baseman will get pop flies, which is where the ball is hit straight up into the air, making it very easy to catch, or balls that are straight beams that come at them with insane speed, or ground balls like the first baseman typically deals with. So we need someone who would be good at all three of those things. A very well-rounded character. Just like our football video with the linebacker position, we're going to be choosing Freddy Fazbear. He's by far the most well-rounded character in the entire franchise. He would be great at this since he is known to perform well under pressure. And second baseman being one of the harder positions to play, it makes sense to have our favorite fuzzy murder bear in at second base. Him being in the middle of the field must strike fear into the hearts of the batters that walk up to the line. And look forward and see Freddy Fazbear in the distance, staring you down with his Red Sox hat on and busted up glove. Not to mention, he can do his little laugh that he does in Five Nights at Freddy's 1 whenever he moves, to maybe throw off the batters on base or the batter that is currently hitting. I believe he would do this a ton, because I don't know why, but baseball players love trash talking. And I feel like Freddy Fazbear would do that exact thing, and I love him for it. Him being at this position is solid gold. The shortstop is by far the most physically demanding position on the field. They are meant to run all around the infield and get stray balls that the other basemen have missed, as well as put the basemen on their team in their proper positions before a ball is hit. They must be super smart, disciplined, and physically fit, since they run around the infield for most of the game. Now, I think we're all thinking of the same character, right? Foxy! However, we can't use him, since Foxy has a hook. He wouldn't be able to catch the ball and throw it. The only hand he has would have to be used for the glove. However, we mentioned previously in our football video, there are variants of Foxy without his hook. Now we are going on a whim and we're going to pick Roxanne for this position. And here's why. In the game, Roxanne is by far the fastest animatronic that chases you around, even after being destroyed, which means she is very fit. Also, she talks a lot of smack throughout the game, which is something all baseball players have in common. She uses her IQ in the Ruin DLC to help Cassie navigate through the broken down Pizzaplex to find Gregory. Having an even more important job than the pitcher, I trust Roxanne with the well-being of the interior of our fielding team with my life. The third baseman job is by far the scariest position to be in while playing baseball. You have the highest possibility of being struck in the face with a ball than any other positions, since most balls will be coming towards you due to the most batters being right-handed. Not to mention, you are pretty much the last line of defense before the runner that's on the third base gets to home base and scores a point for their team. You have a lot of pressure on you at this position. You need to be fearless, as well as being highly skilled. Thinking of the roster of characters, I originally thought maybe Springtrap, just because he is always determined to get his job done. However, he is never truly focused, since he always somehow gets distracted by a child's laugh in Five Nights at Freddy's 3. So, who's someone whose eye is on the prize constantly? We're going to be choosing Circus Baby for this position. She showed how determined she was in Sister Location when she devised an entire plan for her and her friends to get out of the underground bunker by killing Michael and climbing inside his body to wear it as a suit. Her plan worked in the end, since the canon ending of that game is when they all escape. She also has a hulking figure, standing in at 7'2", 585 pounds. She can definitely throw this ball, equivalent to that of a heat-seeking missile. Good luck. All three of the outfield positions are pretty much the same as one another. One is in the very middle, one is in the back on the left, and one is in the back on the right. All of their duties include preventing the balls from being hit over the fence, causing a home run, which would be the worst case scenario for this team, since a home run is an instant point for the hitting team. And if anyone is on base at the time of the home run, they also score a point. So we're going to need characters who can jump really high and keep up with the fast pace of the outfield position. Unfortunately, we don't really have any animatronics that have any known feats on jumping high, other than one, Monty. In Monty's section in Security Breach, when you are shooting the giant bucket filled with balls, Monty is constantly chasing you. And what does he do while he's chasing you? He not only jumps extremely high, but he jumps so high that he becomes invisible to the player because of how fast and high he jumps. We're going to be putting him at our right field position because that's where most of the fly balls are going to, and having the player who can jump the highest at this position will be essential for our team to not allow any points to be scored on us. Next, we have the middle fielder, someone who occasionally has to scoop up ground balls but also has to be very wary of pop flies that somehow manage to get past the pitcher and the second baseman. We once again need somebody who's well-rounded, and for team chemistry in the backlines, we're going to be adding Glamrock Chica as our midfield player. Being built practically the same way as Monty, not physically, I'm talking about powers. Even though she doesn't show it in the game, we can all assume that all of the Glamrock animatronics have the exact same abilities. Plus, scooping up ground balls are pretty much in her DNA, since her original design always had to chase that dang cupcake. It is also much harder than catching pop flies, and between me and you, Glamrock Chica is a bit smarter than Monty, so I believe she would be perfect for the midfielder position. Lastly, we have our left fielder. Usually known as the most useless position on the field, or was that the right field? I really don't remember, don't quote me on that. But here at the left fielder position, they mostly scoop up stray ground balls that somehow get past the shortstop and the third baseman. This player needs a very strong arm, because most of the time they are launching this ball to the first baseman, which is basically across the entire field, to try to get whoever hit the ball out. We're going to be using the Mimic for this position. Why, you may ask? Well, let me tell you. Since the Mimic can copy anything he sees, here's what we're gonna do. We will show him a video of Omni-Man playing baseball with Mark from Invincible. He will then see how fast and far Omni-Man can throw the baseball and flawlessly copy it. And bam, now we have a superhuman god on our team. I just hope the other players on his team can handle the insane power and speed he will bring to the table. Or else we may need to nerf him and make him watch a video of Aroldis Chapman instead. But that would not be any fun, would it? Imagine having an Omni-Man on our team. Bro, we're winning every game. Switching to the batters. Now the batter isn't really a position since everyone is required to bat on their team, with no exceptions. Yes, even you, pitcher. So instead of naming just random animatronics that aren't on the team, I'm gonna be naming the top 3 animatronics on our team that I believe would be the best batters for our team. I think the top 3 best batters, starting from the worst of the 3, ending with the best, I'm gonna have to say for our third spot would be Freddy Fazbear. An all-around honest, well-rounded character for the team, I believe he would mostly excel in the field. However, that would not stop this man from hitting absolute dingers left and right. Since he is a huge hulking figure, hitting baseballs would be a cinch for him, earning him the number 3 spot. For our number 2 spot, it was sadly my choice for him, even though I really wanted him to be number 1. Monty will be our second pick for me. Since he demonstrates his strength a lot throughout the games, it is pretty safe to assume that he would be a very deadly batter and that every pitcher would have nightmares of going up against him. Along with his anger issues, I think Monty would deliberately hit the ball directly at someone's face in order to get to the base quicker, and since he is freakishly strong, I think he would definitely cause some damage to whoever that person is, making him our pick for the number 2 spot. And lastly, for our best batter on the team, it has to go to the Mimic. I mean, having the ability to copy anyone just by looking at them is such an insane ability I wish everybody had. However, the Mimic is special in this regard. You can make him watch a video of almost anyone of your liking, and he will mimic their playstyle to the T, which means you can make him watch that one episode of Looney Tunes when they were playing baseball, and he would basically get Toon Force. Or, you can also make him watch the episode of Dragon Ball Super where the characters played baseball, and for some reason turned Super Saiyan Blue when they were doing it, which, yes, you guessed it, would allow the Mimic to turn Super Saiyan Blue, which is why he's easily the best player on our team. Thank you all so much for watching once again. These videos are always very fun to make, and to top it off, you all love them. We are somehow running out of known sports though, with only a few to go, so this series will sadly come to an end before you know it. So make sure to give me some ideas down in the comments. Remember to like, subscribe, turn on notifications, share with friends, and comment down below. Thank you all so much for watching. Peace out.